Right here, we're going to do some of these by hand and some of them not by hand. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do it on Mathematica. And the way I do it is a little bit old school, like I mentioned earlier, but hey, it gets the job done. I made the shot. So here, the first one I'm going to do for you by actual computation. So how do you do an addition? Well, you just do, they have to be the same size, first of all. If they're not the same size, you can't do the addition. So here I would just take the first components, 4 and minus 1, and add them, and 0 and minus 6, and add them. And I'm very, very careful about minus signs. Again, the reason why anybody would dislike a one of these problems is because they are bookkeeping, and I'm not a fan of bookkeeping. So going forward, I did it fairly quickly. Minus 1 plus 2, 1 plus 1, you can see where everything comes from, just component by component. So when you take two matrices of the same size and add them, the result will be the same size what you started with. Here I did the addition, and that's what goes in here. And you see these little arrows? When you click the arrows, it'll let you put columns in there and rows so that you can actually put in a matrix. And so don't ignore what it says here in list answer. This is how WebAssign reads it. Underlying all of this is WebAssign has what we call a Mathematica kernel. And so Mathematica reads matrices like a list. You're going to see that in a second. All right, so how do I do this on Mathematica? Because in Mathematica, all I have to do is enter the matrices, and then I'm done. So how do I do that? Well, let's see. I forget things easily. So let me go back here to my problem and do a little snip. And then take these matrices over because I don't want to keep looking back on my other screen. And then I'm going to paste it into my Mathematica file. So I'm opening Mathematica. You should have it downloaded by Monday. And I'm going to really advocate using it. Oops. Let's see. All right, so those are my matrices. How do I enter them? Well, old school way to do it is I type A equals insert matrix, and I'll put new. And the first matrix is 3 rows and 2 columns. So I'm just going to enter that in there and put parentheses around it. 4, 0, minus 1, 1, and minus 2, minus 5 in. The only mistake you can make is actually entering it wrong. Once you enter the matrix, hold shift, your shift key down, and enter it down at the same time, and you get this. You see how it makes it into a list? The first row is the first list, 4, 0. I can tell it to display as a matrix, and it will do that for me. So let's enter in the rest. Move in me. I took a big risk here. I'm gonna go run after this, so I'm not cleaned up yet. All right, so let's go enter in the second matrix, insert, and we'll put in matrix, new, and this is 3 rows and 2 columns again, so I'll add that in. I'm telling you, this is worth the trouble, because once you have it in, you can answer all the questions quickly. And then go to the side, shift enter, and that's my second matrix, and I'm not going to do the matrix form of this guy. I don't need to. And then I'm going to insert the last one, which is C. Now this is 2 rows and 3 columns, so I'm going to go over here and put new, 2 rows, 3 columns, enter that in, and then put my parentheses around it, and then we have 0, 1, negative 1, and 5, 3, 6. I'm doing this very quickly because I'm just using my tab button. And it doesn't like the word C. When it says symbol C is protected, they use C for something else. So I'm going to call it C matrix so that it doesn't get mad. And so it's going to do that. Now, they asked me for A minus B. A minus B, you got it. If I want it to display as a matrix, I go like this. So I'm going to answer the rest of these questions also on Mathematica so they can see the value of doing this.